Hey, Stevie, here's what's the shot for me, bro. For you.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to CueballTV. Welcome to, sitting next to me, Australian champion, Kurt Dunham.
Thank you for your welcome, Peter.
My pleasure, mate. We're currently on the James O'Reilly Rusty Wheeler at 2-2. And for those of you who saw before, Rusty's miscued the brake and it didn't even make the middle pocket. And this match is a real case of tortoise versus the hare.
I did not know that, so I'm pretty happy that you've actually told me that. I heard it, but I didn't know what it was.
It's one of those shots where everyone just seemed to be watching right at that time, so that was great. But James is one of the most painfully slow players to play. He can really, he's very, very methodical. And Rusty, on the other hand,
Exact opposite.
as soon as I work out who's on what here.
I think James is on the yellow by the look of this shot.
I just had to look up to realise what table we were watching.
Yeah, I was looking at this one. Oh, wow.
Well, that was asking a bit.
That would have almost been shot of the century, especially considering where he's landed.
I reckon. That was probably all he had, but he's in a bit of strife in this frame.
Oh, wow, he's got
got
two.
one.
That's actually still landed pretty well then.
Well, he's in pretty good shape. The black's really his only trouble ball.
Plenty of room for that black to go into the left-hand side middle if he leaves this bottom ball to last.
We're sitting on a good angle to see that. On the screen, it doesn't look like it.
No, it looks pretty tight in there. So he pot this one, probably stun off the side rail and go up table for that one in the middle.
Yeah, so the big shot's going to be getting good angle on this last ball. Well, he's not going to be able to do a lot with this, I don't think, Kurt.
I think there's only one guy in the world that does these shots, and I think it's yourself, Peter Butterworth, after last week at Cheltenham Snooker Club. For those of you watching, Peter's played this shot in the middle with a ton of top right, and virtually come between the side rail and that side red, and come down and landed pretty much fat on that last yellow.
Yeah, people quite often go, oh, that's the best shot I've ever hit, but I can 100% guarantee you that was the best shot I've ever hit, mate. I winded it up going, all right, I'm about 1 in 10 chance for the pot, and I'm about 1 in 50 for position. But that's after Michael Scarry's just absolutely smashed me in the first 2 frames.
He might have more angle. Oh, he's tried it.
He's tried it too. Yeah, he's in a world of hurt.
Certainly not the way he wanted to land that.
I mean, he can go cushion and cut it in, but the white's running all over the joint. He's in serious trouble here now.
Even if you do get that and it goes in, you don't really have a double. You hardly even have a Marcus.
Yeah, you got nothing. He's just pretty much just got to lay up and leave it and hope that that ball there makes it harder for Rusty with the 2 reds and the black where they are.
Hopefully leaves the yellow in the hole somewhere. He's hit it pretty well.
That's a very good shot. It's as good as he could have done.
He's hit it pretty well. I still back Rusty to go out from here.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's half a mistake already. Should be able to roll up onto the top ball now.
The bottom red below the black does go into the middle and obviously the corner as well, so he's only got to try and get in the vicinity basically off one of these balls.
Yeah.
And clear that out. Oh, he's gone for his 2 shots. Don't think I've ever seen Rusty not take on an out that was
it's
relatively there.
As I said, playing James, you've really got to take your opportunities when you get to the table, because he'll just ruin your rhythm. And this would be, I'd be correct in assuming, I think that this would be Rusty's first match of the tournament. May not have had much of a hit on the Rileys, so although he did play Jake in a race last night. Lost 11-10, I believe. And a percentage shot from James.
Not a bad shot. He's made sure that he's not left him on one of these two in the middle of the table. Sort of guaranteeing the fact that he has to almost waste a shot and try and get this ball out. Looks like he's trying to screw into this red hit next to it.
It's a pretty good result. He needs to clear this one in the middle so the red will go past, which is what he's doing. Now they're all on Kurt.
Certainly are.
Certainly not in his groove yet, though. That's beautiful. He's just on it. He can drop down there easily. Get on the one in the middle.
Try and get on the one in the middle now. Get it out of the way.
That's about spot on.
And I think he'll even push into the black a little bit here and just push the black out of the way.
He may just screw. No, he's doing what you said. He's got good angle for it.
He's always going to land on the red, so just nudge the black a little bit, make it a little bit easier. Yeah. Not that you have to do that when you're John Rusty Wheeler, but just doing it by the book.
Yeah. He's certainly not at his breakneck speed, but he's just warming himself into it, making sure of him.
He's got his staff shirt on for his new snooker world.
He has. So no more purple wiggle.
Thank God.
How are you travelling today yourself, mate?
I've played the one match, defeating Tony Wakefield 11-4.
It's a very solid win.
Waiting to play my next match, which I believe is Steve Thomas.
Well, a definite tester.
Who definitely has had a pretty good last 12 months or so.
Yeah, he's worked very hard, Steve.
In the tournaments, and
well, you know, he's come down from ACT as one of the in the top group of players up there and made a stateside or two, and comes to Victoria and goes, wow, how hard is it down here? But he's worked very hard, and the results are starting to show. I'm sure everyone already knows, but he made the semi at Geelong and lost to Jake, who eventually won it. But in a row, he went through Michael Scary, Dave Rothel, and Joel Younger to earn the spot in the semi against Jake. So,
and then only a month later, I think in Albury, he made the quarters.
He did,
if I'm correct.
Yeah, he's winning
two
a lot
tournaments
of matches
in a row to make the semis and the quarters.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind doing that one day.
I'm sure there's a lot of people who wouldn't mind winning a national singles either, mate.
Yeah, I'll take that over the semis and quarters of Geelong any day, I think.
Just not really getting the cue through the ball too well the last couple of shots, James.
Yeah, he's got a nice angle here to go into that red on the left-hand rail if he does decide to. He's only really got to nudge it off the rail, and he's definitely going to land on either the one on the bottom or the one into the middle. So I'd be definitely trying to go into this one on the rail now.
He's got to do it. I mean, you've got to take your chances against Rusty, and this is...
So yeah,
it's a bit stiff. Look,
I'd still
it's
be
a
playing
mistake,
that.
But yeah.
I'd still be playing that with a lot more pace. You're almost guaranteed to land on one of those reds, no matter how hard you hit it, unless you hit it really bad.
Yeah, that's right. And once that ball's out, it's ABC basically.
Yeah.
You can still afford to do it here.
Yeah, I was just thinking that he's still got that red in the middle that's sort of a backup if he doesn't land on the ball that he's trying to extract.
Yeah, that's right.
He's always got that one in the middle that he can sort of count on.
Only thing can go wrong here is if he doesn't get enough and goes in off.
In the middle. I don't know, he's just laid up. See, these are pretty generous pockets on these rollies when you're rolling them, from what I've noticed.
Yeah, it's not too fine. He can play this and still hold for the red above the black. It's not quite as fine as it looks on the screen. Unless he just... Unless he decides to have a crack. Why? Someone's turned the overhead lights on, so that's just a huge result for everyone. Why would you do that? Nice and fine, but he's He's rolled it in.
Earlier. But since this match started 5 frames ago. Josh was cracking it because it's TV. Just couldn't play with the camera. I said, "So look at your game." He's like, he goes, "I've just played like a puppet." It's a camera. It wasn't his fault.
Next time you leave, let me know.
You would have been
Oh,
come back here.
Michael Scary's just got over with Josh Boyle, who's having a bit of a freak out when he thinks the cameras are on him, and he's just found out that they weren't actually on, so he was freaking out for no reason.
He wants a rematch now.
Yeah. And I think he deserves one. Michael should give him one.
If Michael was a gentleman, I think he would.
Yeah, if Mike was a good bloke, he'd do that all day long. Okay, now James has played it how we thought. He's just left himself a little bit awkward here. He may have to drop the closest red to him in, and then play the other red up in the corner.
Past the black, yeah. He looks very reasonably straight on this from what we can see.
So just got to concentrate in the pot. Doesn't need to do anything with the white. Hit it well. He could have come through another inch or two, but he can just stun it and play the black in the same pocket.
Yeah, I'd be playing the black up.
He's got the cushion, can use the cushion to bridge over all the yellows. So he'll be playing with a Westgate bridge, so he's just got to be a little bit careful here.
Doesn't have to do any work on the white, just a nice little stun. Dead straight on the black, and then just roll the black straight up the corner as well.
That's it.
He's hit it well.
Yeah, he's done well. Landed just off straight in the black, so he will not miss this ball. There you go, I'm saying it. Commentator's curse.
He's just second guessed.
Yeah, just be making sure.
Boom.
Middle of the hole.
3-all, game on.
3-all. Good work, James. Sticking with him.
James has got to try and level head with him. He'll try and get a couple of frames ahead, I think, is his best game plan for this, because generally, no matter who you are, once Rusty really gets a few frames ahead of you, he doesn't like to let the pedal off.
Very good front runner.
So
all right, we got any other results here?
I was just looking around the room to see that. I think Mikey Casiola and Sarwan Naka, the two SA boys, are 6-all, I think, down the back.
Yeah, that was always going to be a tight contest.
Pretty evenly matched contest.
It is.
Some giants just walked in behind me. I felt the shadow come over me.
Benny Noonan playing Prez. Paul Morelli, he's that was always going to be a tight contest too. It's 4-3 to Ben at the moment. That's a good break from James.
It's a good break. He's controlled the white well. And I'm pretty sure
take either here.
He could take either, but definitely with having an easy start on the reds, I think
for sure.
Just a matter of mapping her out here on your first visit, work out exactly which way you want to go about it.
Yeah, you got to pick your ball. You're going to get back up there on that for that red he's closest to, and that's the only problem he's going to have.
The only way you can stuff this up basically is not thinking it through properly and sort of playing a half-assed shot.
And James will not think it through properly. Sorry for the double negative, but he
smashed.
Lack of thinking is certainly not what he does very often. Well, there's the draw for us, mate.
We will have a couple of little updates for anyone that wants to know. Brenton Collier was defeated in his first round match. Notable
By Paddy Hood.
Notable loss early on.
Gus DiGiorgio lost his first match on the winner's side.
He did. I think that was 11-4.
Yeah, to Steve Jamieson, who's been working very hard at his game. And he put a lot of time in last night on the Rileys as well, which he just happened to be playing Gus on this morning. Well, he needs to pick this ball pretty soon, how he's going to get back up the other end, mate. He's got to stun and take this one in the middle for sure. Or Or is he? No, he's trying to get up on it now.
I'd say go up for it now, yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's not bad.
I personally would tend to rather leave that one in the middle till last. It's definitely the easiest ball to get onto the black.
He's just not
Probably
quite
would've
come
tried-
as far as he would have liked.
Yeah, I probably would have tried to get that red out of the way earlier, so it's a bit easier to map these balls out down the bottom.
He might have to check this up here and come straight back up the middle of the table.
It's got a fair bit of angle here.
He has to be up this end of the table. He's got almost no landing area that
I
end.
think he's going to try and stun around off 2 rails and sort of come down the middle of the table there. Almost like that.
Well,
It's just overhit it.
Yeah,
like that.
I didn't like trying to play on it from that end because it was a very small window.
Yeah.
Now what's he
I
got
think
here?
I think I personally would have tried to play that shot and actually widen the shot up a bit, playing it off and coming closer to the pocket, so you give yourself more angle to come down the centre of the table.
Yeah.
Whereas he's actually played to pick the gap and hold the weight, whereas if you come the other way, you've got more space to land in.
Well, he's lining this up like he's got a shot on it.
This could actually be the biggest result of all time if he's on this ball. Wow.
Well, that is phenomenal that he's landed on that ball.
Rusty's having a nice little chucker to himself. I think he
I
can
reckon-
believe the fact that he's spotted that.
I reckon James was standing there then going, I'm in jail here. And then he's looked at it and gone,
In a
I can
minute.
pot this. How good am I?
I've actually landed fat.
How good am I landing there? I land perfect when I don't even mean to. Oh well.
See, that was always a drama. Trying to get onto the black from any other ball apart from that one in the middle was not exactly ABC.
Big shot now.
Although after getting position on that last shot, this will be nothing for him. But again, the balls are pretty easy for Rusty. He's basically just got to back himself to either cut this in or make a double.
Yeah, there's no safety.
Can't
nothing
really
else
worry.
you can do.
Can't really worry about the wide. Even if you get it up on the top rail or something, Rusty's probably going to be able to roll a ball in somewhere, or
Knock it in.
snooker behind that top ball, or
Knock it in or lose, basically. And he knows that. He's just got to watch the run of the wide here too. He'll check it up, but he'll still probably come back into the 2 yellows he's right next to. Like that.
He's overcut it. He's overcut it and promoted Rusty's only iffy ball, so
I'll go crazy and say that's game over.
for this staff member at Snooker World on the Gold Coast.
Yeah. It's good that he finally got a job.
And thankfully, it's bought him a new wardrobe.
That's your standard Rusty shot.
Thereabouts.
Doesn't mind a cannon. It's pretty straightforward here. Probably screw back into that other yellow now. I know, just get on it,
Bit more angle there than what I thought.
I reckon. Yeah, you can't go wrong here now. Stun, roll it in. And for the record, the man responsible for all this, being Dan Lynch, has played pretty well this morning. Stevie Gray's knocked him off 11-7, but Steve Gray is a fantastic player, as we all know. And then he's played at least one more where he smashed someone up, so
Certainly held his own against Steve Gray to lose 11-7.
it was a great effort. I think Rusty finishes that one pretty easily to go 4-3. Gus Giorgio's just been called up again. He's,
JJ stamping her authority on the competition.
as she does.
Doesn't mind it.
Gus would be. He's pretty keen to go well, and he was disappointed with his first loss, Gus, because he's desperate to prove himself at a big event.
It's going to be a long road back from the loser side on day one, though.
So he's got to win about 37 matches in a row.
And that's just to get back to the winner's side. And then he's got to try and knock off Joel or someone twice to win the tournament,
Exactly.
which I don't think, actually it has been done before, I think first year.
Yeah, Ben. Yeah, Ben lost to Joel and then went back through it and won it. But Ben, that's 4 years ago, where Ben was at his absolute peak.
He was prime.
And as good as Gus is, he's probably not in the same class as Ben was, that's for sure. Hell of a strong competition, Kurt.
It's not the easiest tournament to win, no.
It's just great to see this many good players in the room.
It's basically a mini nationals. Pretty much anyone that's previously won the Australian singles or definitely been one of the front runners in the Australian singles for the last few years are all pretty much here. There's not many people around the room that, around the country that you wouldn't want put here that isn't already here.
No, agreed.
Struggle to get that out, but I think I got there.
I understood what you meant, mate.
Talk myself into a bit of a hole, but
I'd love a score on what other match have we got cameras on here? Could we get a Steve Wood score, please?
Heidi. She'll have no idea. So. Yeah, I just remembered. Sorry. Heaps.
All right, so we just asked Heidi and she had no idea.
As soon as I said, Heidi, what's the score, I realised that Heidi has the worst memory for someone that sits there and watches the whole match and has absolutely no idea
But
of what the score
apparently Steve's
is.
about 10-1 up, so
About
right or wrong, he'd be pretty comfortable, I'd say.
Although I don't know if you'll trust Heidi's opinion on that.
That's a tough... yeah, he'd be disappointed with that miss.
Little mistakes like that against someone like John Rusty Wheeler can make you go 4-3 down to 5-3 very quickly.
He's got a bit lucky where he's killed the red next to the black. That won't go in the corner, but he might be able to play it off the yellow. I think he's just got enough for that. Which will be nice for Rusty because he can open them up.
Rusty doesn't need much, he just needed enough. I'll tell you what, he might actually be playing this now into the middle. Oh no, he's gone the other way.
Just the lazy cutback, mate.
What do I know? Yeah, that's what.
Yes,
Hasn't really landed anywhere.
Just been informed that the red does go off the yellow.
Might be trying to move it here though, which he has.
Well, that's a mistake really, because now he's got two dead ones there. Probably just nudge this in front, will he? Well, no, he's drawing the yellow out.
I think that's a mistake as well. I think.
Yeah, well, he's not far off of. He's nearly left him on that ball.
I think he has by the look of this. It's certainly going to be fine, but I'm pretty sure he's going to be on it. Well, even if it doesn't go, he should.
Rusty's got a big wry smile going on, so I reckon he has. He was pretty impressed with himself after that shot. James is working it out. The old hand on the hips stance. That's his serious look.
Especially with the lumberjack look he's got going on. Loves it.
He's not alone there.
Trying to be Steve Woods.
I was going to say, playing on the table next to Steve Woods, you can almost confuse him. I'll just point something out. Did you notice that he's got the matching shirt and pouch, mate?
No, but I'm definitely going to have a look at that.
Well, because of that, just thought I'd mention it because that lunatic Ben Noonan in Albury, I just happened to have the same colour pouch as my shirt, and he gave me grief for 2 days because of it.
I do remember that, actually.
And for the record, I wasn't wearing the same shirt for 2 days. Just thought I'd clarify that.
I've heard Lee Gilpin, Gus Giorgio called up about 17 times now.
Well, Lee Gilpin lost to James Dalla, and James played very well and towards the middle and end of that match, but Lee did lead him 6-2.
Definitely.
So the chief was playing pretty well.
Under his own words, he said he was 6-2 up. He made a few mistakes, and then Della just did what he did, and it was all over.
Jimmy did what Della does.
Della does do it pretty well. I've heard that not many people can do it like Jimmy Della does.
I'm not even going to try and repeat what we just said, mate. That's yeah, I can confuse myself with easier things to say than that.
Still a good effort from the old chieftain.
Yeah,
One of the most likeable characters around in Victorian pool.
He's a very good, very good gentleman indeed. He doesn't mind doing the old giant kill now and then either.
Giant killer.
Knocked Joel out of, where was it, Berry, I think.
He doesn't mind the old Berry result too. League Open. I've heard
He's
quite
a huge fan of Berry.
Quite a few results I've heard of Berry. Every now and then he'll pop up and destroy one of the good players.
I roomed with him there last year, mate, and it was one of the best weekends I've had over there. He's an absolute cracker.
So sure about that shot. I think I would have been trying to pop that ball in the middle.
Yeah, I'm a bit confused by that.
And keeping you too, because he really only had one hard ball, and even that does go down the rail.
Thank you. Woodsy's just done it. He's over the line. He certainly hasn't broken a sweat. I'd ask Heidi what the score was, but she won't know.
Heidi would have no idea. We'll wait for Steve to come back and actually get a proper result.
Eleven to 2, I've been informed. So definitely no breaking a sweat there for Woodsy.
11 to 2. Steve Woods.
And look, there's a lot of good players here. Woodsy's another one who really wants to prove himself in these long races.
He's last start tournament winner, I think. Would be the last tournament we had, Aubrey?
It certainly was, yeah. And that was back-to-back for him. Not the biggest field of all time, Aubrey, but
after flipping two massive balls against me in the semi.
Yeah, you're unlucky, Australian champ.
Oh. The superstar himself, VJ Randall, has just been called up
to play me,
and he's playing the one and only Peter Butterworth.
Great. Well, I'd love to commentate myself, mate, but I can't do it. So I'll see you a bit later, Kurt.
Can we mic him up? Chip overseas.
I'll pass you on to old mate Dale Bolton,
SDMDB,
aka Chipper, and here he is. See you, mate.
See you, mate. Welcome aboard, STMDB.
Thanks for having me.
DCB.
So what's the go here now?
James is just playing Rusty here. He's made a little bit of a mockery out of this. Certainly got the hole back there, but I think he should have went a bit more aggressively in that, and certainly tried to take the frame, bring it back to 4-all. Given that he had two shots earlier on with 4 or 5 reasonably easy balls, a bit of a negative approach, and you don't want to be giving these guys too many chances at the table, whether the balls are on or not there.
Well, yeah, very true, very true.
Generally, they can make something happen.
Well, even covering that pocket doesn't seem to have really done too many favours.
I think Rusty will cut this onto the yellow here and go right back up the table with the white, give him absolutely nothing.
Oh, that's terrible.
He's played that very poorly.
Well, I wouldn't mind knowing if that top yellow actually does pass.
The old knock on the floor with the cue suggests that I think it does. Looks like there's a reasonably big gap there.
Well, it doesn't take too long to get down on the shot, so yeah.
Although it sort of looks like he's lining up the rail ball. Hard to tell when they're that close together, which he was.
Oh.
So he's actually got half a result. Getting the
red out of the
yeah, getting the black out as well, but I think he just tried to hold for that yellow up to the top corner. He's going to be careful here though, because he can just nick off and play the snooker up and down the table, but all it's going to take is Rusty to come off one rail and sit on one of those reds, and he's probably going to get a snooker back.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but he has got 2 shots.
He does have 2 shots, so I don't know what I'm talking about. Just felt my phone vibrate and have a look, and apparently everyone's watching CueballTV and saying how cool it is.
Yeah, I was doing a little bit of the watching at lunchtime today from work.
Actually, that was my question for you before. Work was the only reason you didn't play, or yeah.
Yes, rather disappointing that I had to work, and then I find out today that I have fuck all work on.
You ended up here at lunchtime anyway. You probably wouldn't have had a match until lunchtime anyway if you did come.
Yeah, I was a little bit annoyed. I'm sitting there watching, going, geez, I could have been out here. Oh, wowee.
Wow. Absolutely wow. No. No.
Not yet.
No.
Well, Rusty's
that is not what you want to be doing.
Yeah, taking advantage of that error.
And that's big. To go back to 4-all, in turn you've actually gone 5-3 down.
Yeah.
Is a massive blow. And that was pretty much as simple as it gets. He's tried to cheat the pocket to run away from the black and not make it as awkward for himself, but yeah, I don't think he really had to do it that well.
I wasn't really paying too much attention, but it did, from the quick glimpse away from the screen, I thought I saw his body move big time when he played that.
Yeah. I mean, he had options as well. He could have played a soft stun and played the black into the corner or the middle, or
roll through underneath the black
anywhere. But he's tried to sort of cheat the pocket a little bit, and a little bit of check maybe, and he's probably thrown the arm at it.
Yeah,
thrown the handbag at it.
Tried to out Rusty.
Yeah, only Paul Pike's the other guy in the room could do that. Do it. Oh, is that on next? Yeah, baby.
Well, one would expect that James would go very close to running this rack.
Just been having a look at the draw. He's on yellows, is he?
Yes. Indeed, he is on yellows.
Especially after that, pretty much throwing away that last frame.
Well, it'll be extra concentration.
Definitely be trying to get this one back in one visit. Yeah, I probably would have tried to move that red out of the way a little bit more, because I would have been trying to come back to the left-hand side of the table and playing this one onto the other one to play this bottom one into the opposite corner, whereas now
he's limited options to basically just rolling through to end up down low.
He sort of blocked that path with the red, so
the last thing he needs after a negative shot from the last frame is to have to be forced to play a massive shot now.
Exactly, especially with the black being there as well. It's not exactly easy. He has to have a good shot on his last yellow to be able to land on the black, whether he puts it in the middle or the corner, or
that might do.
He's played for the gap. I'd just be curious to see which way he wants to go about this. And he's actually
he's on the
this.
top wall.
Don't know about playing it from here. Looks to be.
Doesn't look like there's enough room to get under that yellow. Oh wow,
that was very lucky, I think. To be honest, he's virtually double kissed that in when he was trying to play it straight off the jaw, or sort of nicking the yellow.
It did not even look like there was room to try and squeeze in under it.
So this is what I was saying about leaving the black till obviously getting onto the black. The old phone's been running a bit red hot with the old cue ball comments. Thanks everyone. Except Brent Hampton, you're a wanker. Jason Tanaskovic. Tanaskovic. The Hawker. The Hawker is the one and only Kevin Harvey. Led our team to greatness the previous tournament in one faggy.
Against whose side?
Some spastics. Guys like Michael Skerry and Dale Bolton, Gus DiGiorgio.
Yeah, that was all.
They actually had no hope.
That was all we had.
Yeah, that wasn't even it.
The fourth best side on paper.
Yeah, I don't know. That was a bit ambitious to be playing that shot. He had to basically play it spot on and hit that top red full without hitting the black.
Yeah,
and he's
missing the black's the key.
He's obviously clipped a black, and he's you can see the end result. He's just tried to complicate these outs the last 2 times, make them harder than they actually were. Other option would have been to screw back a little bit, play the black into the left-hand middle. A little bit of a tough shot, but at least you're on it, and you give yourself the 100% best chance you can.
Jojo school of pool, sea ball, pot ball.
Exactly. Doesn't matter if the white's on the rail, just pot it.
Yeah.
Nothing off centre. Don't know what's going on here. I don't know where the.
I think the double's the only thing that
I think the triple maybe would be, unless he can get around that red. Oh, he's gone the triple, quadruple,
straight
off
up
the white, down underneath the red, and he's played a great safety shot.
Yeah, let's just go safety. a bit of credit.
Go through that draw. Just to give you guys at home a little update of the draw if anyone hasn't seen it. The next round of matchups, which I believe will be the last 32 on the winner's side, will be Joel Younger and Mark Kerwood. Good match. Peter Butterworth and BJ Randall just started. The next match will be myself and Steve Thomas. Alec Everett versus Graham Wright. Jake McCartney versus young Tyson Howie, just knocked off Paul Pike. Scotty Matthews playing Clint Kapler from WA. James Delahunty is playing the winner of Travis Martin and Nick Orr, which is still currently going. Patrick Hood, who seems to be hitting a pretty good ball, was just knocked out Brenton Collier. He's playing Steve Gray. And then the rest of the field is pretty much still waiting for a few more matches to come through. So there's definitely some good matchups there and in the next round, and matches are only going to get tougher, I think, over the next round or two.
Making it look rather easy, Rusty.
I would have been a bit closer to this with preference, but
yeah. Let's just see if he does make it look easy.
Big pockets, Rusty doesn't mind these. He'll probably smash this in as well. Doesn't miss.
Yeah.
Doesn't miss a ball, this bloke. I think James will be spewing. He could well have been 5-4 up at this stage, but 2 costly mistakes, and he's all of a sudden 6-3 down, and Rusty's over halfway basically to 11.
Yeah. Doesn't mind getting in front on the scoreboard.
Just got confirmation that Sarwan Naka defeated Mikey Cassiola. Not sure of the score, but last I seen it was 6-all and they were having a good tussle. So The old SA boys come all the way over here and draw each other.
Yeah.
I've heard a couple of stories like that. Troy Rudling and his brother come over the way from Tasmania and actually drew each other first match.
Unheard of. I heard about Renata and Mick.
I've heard that one.
Apparently they're playing.
Wow.
Or at least were playing. You'll have to get confirmation on that one. I don't want to be giving false info.
And you are spot on.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Mick Delahunty SA versus Renata Delahunty SA.
I know exactly how he feels. I had to do that to the wife on Monday at Rackham Up.
Winner plays James Delahunty.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah, I'm kidding.
Oh, too good to be true. Score, Money. Score. 1 to BJ.
Now James has tried the extraction there just to try and knock that yellow out of the way and knock it on so all his balls are on, but he sort of landed a bit dodgy, and personally I'd rather play those with a little bit more pace, just to guarantee that you're going to get the balls out of the way, whereas now he's just sort of kissed into him and he's not really left with any sort of shot.
That's your snooker background coming into play there.
Yeah, I just believe that if you're going to try and nudge a ball, you have to hit it absolutely spot on to land on them, whereas you see so many times people try and move balls, even if they're on the rail, and they just try and nudge up to them and hit them fat, whereas I personally would rather go into it. Make sure you hold your white. Even if you send the red around 2 rails, it's going to come back in the middle of the table.
Yeah, no, very much on your side on that one.
Just leaves you with no shot, and then you have to play a containing shot like that, and depending on how this next shot plays out, you could be behind the 8 ball again, just from one little positional shot that's sort of gone wrong.
Not sure if this top red actually does pass to this corner.
Yeah,
it looks very close when you look at the table.
This one obviously doesn't in the top one.
Yeah?
There we go, confirmation, the top one does go, so.
Rusty doing the maths to work out what he's doing next. That's probably the most I've ever seen Rusty miss a pot by. A good 9-10 inches down the rail. It hasn't done either player any favours.
It's done the commentary team no favours either, because I don't know what's going to happen now.
Well, one thing's for sure, it's going to run overtime.
Jason Tanaskovic saying that he's proud of me for pronouncing his name right. He had a whirl of a time at Albury last month.
Oh.
I don't think anyone over the whole weekend pronounced his name right. It's not that hard, it's pretty much as it's spelled. And he was getting called all sorts of things, and by the end of it they just called him Tanners, because they couldn't pronounce it.
Donny though.
Not just Donny. Donny gave up after a while. It got passed around the board, and by the end of it everyone was just calling him Tanners or Jason T.
Yeah, the Jason T was what I kept getting ear of.
Jason Tankasnovich, and it was just like listening to...
You could twist that into numerous names.
I think I might have just spotted something. I don't know if that yellow onto the other yellow is a little plant there.
Oh, it might be from where he is, but he's on red.
No, I meant James. James has just run that ball down the rail, and he didn't seem too happy when it didn't drop, and I think that plant might actually be on, and that's why he was sort of unhappy. If he comes around and has
definitely makeable.
He's having a look at it now. Certainly does look on. I think I'd be trying to get right behind it though to make it a little bit easier for myself.
playing from where it lies now, you're not going to do much favour on the initial yellow that you're contacting.
Exactly.
It's going to stay in there, but if you're actually fat on it, then you can play it with a bit of power and kick them both out.
Yeah. Yeah, see, he's definitely on, but again, you've got to be trying to do something else with that second yellow. Whether you hit it harder to get it out of there or what, but
unless he was actually trying, well, if it was that fat on, he might have been just trying to get the white back on pretty much where he wanted it originally, or well, where we wanted it originally. I'm going to have to call time out there for myself. After only being here for about half an hour, handed the microphone. I still haven't actually had time to go to the bar and get myself a beverage.
And let's face it, that's basically what you came here to do.
Yes.
Well, he's missed that by a mile.
Well, don't know what pot you think he was going for. But you're right, he did miss the double into the centre by a fair bit.
I really don't know. Not going to lie, guys, on cue ball, I'm not real sure what that was. And looking at this, I think every ball for Rusty will go. This one will go in the centre. Red will go up in the corner. He'll probably...
One trouble ball, but that's miles away from...
That's...
oh.
Rusty's only just missed the extraction there, and that's probably the worst shot I've ever seen him play.
Yeah, 3 shots ago.
And then he's just decided he's going to land on this. Into the middle, probably screw off the bottom rail, leave himself a long red to the corner.
Wouldn't even surprise me if he cuts this red into the corner and develops the red, black, yellow combination in the middle. Nah, digging deep.
He's going on the first option, off the rail, leaves himself a long red. This is going to be something special to get back for the black. Probably 4 rails.
If it goes into the left-hand middle, 3 rails, but I'm not too sure if it's on.
He's jacking up. This is Neil Robertson's special. Oh, and he's plumbed it. I'm only assuming that goes into the middle past the yellow.
Hoping.
And that is as easy as it is.
Alright, time for me to get a refreshments. I shall be back.
Thank you. Wouldn't be the first time. No, I'm all right. So Rusty starts edging a couple of frames ahead, and generally once he gets a little bit of momentum up, he's very hard to stop on the table, no matter who you are. So. While I've got a moment, just give a little couple of shout outs to people that want one. Jamie, the big dog blooming, requesting one. Watching all the way up in a little town of Dysart, rural Queensland. Kevin Harvey, the hawker extraordinaire. Not sure why Kev isn't here this weekend, but I'm hoping to see him over the weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only is about to step up to the plate. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, Wiz. Yeah, Nathan Harris, back for some colour com with a reigning Australian champion. Pleasure's all mine.
Give us a bit of a rundown on your pool career, Hammer. A couple of highlights.
Well, you know, back in my day, I made a couple of state teams. Runner-up in Victorian singles wasn't good enough to go all the way. Made a few top 20s. Yeah, as I said, played nationals a couple of years. wouldn't mind getting back and doing it again. It's been a while.
He's been knocking on the door for the last however many years I've been in Victoria, that's for sure. Every year he's probably the most consistent player in our state tryouts. Every single year will be in the top 20 without doubt.
Yeah, and yet to be a teammate of yours on state level, mate. And I'm looking forward to the day when it happens.
But we did win a premiership together. I would have thought that was in your highlights, but obviously it doesn't mean as enough to you as it does to me.
Well, we got to start low and work our way up to
you was waiting for that one, was you?
Yeah. All right. So what do we got here? Rusty's kicked away a bit here.
Rusty's kicked away from 3-all. James is not sure if you've been watching the match, but James has missed a couple of crucial outs and shots, and playing guys like Rusty, you're going to pay the price.
Exactly, and I just felt that in my match. I just went out to Alec Evernatis, same kind of scoreline that I was facing with Alec, and the same reason I was behind. Missed a couple of chances, and against the guys that have done it all and been there, done that over and over and over again, they will punish you.
So it's not a bad shot there from James. Having that drop, he's given himself the best chance to take control of this round. Black's probably the only hard ball that he's got, and that red in the middle, but I think once he puts a few of these other balls, he's definitely going to open up the areas for that red to go in as well.
Yeah, and you obviously be looking at some stage, looking at whether the black either moving one of those yellows or that's probably the best shot. Probably moving one of the yellows. Don't worry about black's okay where it is. If you can get it,
definitely
get a movement on the yellow. It's
if you can move that yellow that's just to the top of the black. Yeah.
And well, probably a shot to nothing there. So so you make it, you're on your next. If not, well, you get a good result, as you can see. So what about you, Curtis? You how many matches you played so far today?
I've just played the one.
Just the one.
Having the bye this morning, but coming here with Adam, which meant that we had to get here a little bit earlier, and I've had a nice old wait for today. So
yeah, it's a long day.
Certainly makes it a long day for only one match, but
it's certainly a long tournament. So, but yeah,
I think looking at the draw, I should be next match up. So.
But particularly, you feel the days early on in these tournaments. There's so many players in the field, a lot of matches to get through. And there's a lot of downtime. And anyone who's been to Bardendura, there's not a hell of a lot to do when you walk out the doors. The fish and chip shop across the road is probably the highlight of the whole suburb.
I've only really heard about the fish and chip shop this weekend. Apparently the fish and chip shop is the go.
And FYI, it is open on tomorrow on a public holiday, so that's it's good to know.
A man that's opening his fish and chip shop on Anzac Day. For all you ladies and gentlemen, I'd go and get some grilled flake from the bloke.
Respect to that dude. Alright. So James is in I have not seen as much of the match as yourself, but he's obviously looking in another winnable position here. And you really got to start taking these chances at 7-3 down. Not many missed opportunities left. So momentum's a funny thing in pool. You get a couple early frames on the board. All of a sudden, momentum starts swinging your way again.
Yeah.
And that's not too bad. You might be able to see the bottom red over the corner there if he can. If he can't, he can still play the other red in the middle of the table down there. Gets a nice white as well. Probably the right shot to play, actually, the red in the middle of the table.
Yeah. One good shot, basically.
Yeah. Has opened the black up now just by pushing that yellow down. So doesn't need to do too much. As I said, as Kurt said, it is one good shot from here. And this is the one.
He's played it well.
Can't play that much better.
He's cued that pretty well.
the shots are never easy when you're 7-3 down and pressure's on to get quick frames. So that was a good shot by Jimmy there. And he doesn't want too much angle on this, so he should be able to just drop this in, or
I think I'll be coming around
he
here.
can play through and play the black in the same
He's got
pocket.
a little bit too much angle, I think, to be able to hold, and there's plenty of gap between the red and these yellows, so he should be able to push through off 2 rails.
Yep.
Oh,
And he's
played that pretty
hit
bad.
that very thick. Yeah, could have hit that a bit thinner there. And
Definitely looked like there was more gap there than what he's played for.
You're right, and well, he's played it that way, so he obviously thought that too. Just obviously a bit too thick contact on the red there.
This is definitely still cuttable. It looks a lot worse on the screen, I think, than I'm actually looking at the shot now, and I'd still be pretty confident of being able to cut this ball back in, but again, it's an all or nothing shot. He has to worry about nothing but the pot and just try and knock it in, because if he doesn't, it's going to be 8-3 and one step to being all over. He's played it well.
Played that well, Jimmy.
Definitely enough room there to cut it in, but I'm going to vacate the premises and go and play my
Good luck
match.
in your next match, Wiz.
And I'll chat to
See
you
you soon.
blokes later.
Alright, so Jimmy's brought that back to 7-4. Not sure whose break it is, as I've just joined the match mid-frame there, so I'm not sure. Rusty's racking the balls, so that will mean that it is he's breaking. So yeah, as long as Rusty can hold serve, shouldn't be any problems closing out the match. But if Jimmy can somehow find a way to get this frame, break on his, get a good break on the next frame, and all of a sudden it's game on again, and he has left it open. So, and he will be taking yellows, no question about that. Yeah, so for anyone that is planning on getting down here over the next few days, I would highly recommend it. It's a lot of quality players here, quality field, quality coverage by Dan, and he will be covering pretty much everything over the next coming days and over the weekend. So anyone who's got some spare time, get down here. You see some good pool. And joining me is my hoop sidekick, Dale Chipper Bolton.
I'm back on
Welcome,
board
sir.
after getting some refreshments.
Yeah.
Oh, the lips feel much better. And I have to say that the getting the headset from Kurt, his head is big.
I was going to say you won't wash your head after you.
I won't need to reapply my hair wax.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was actually wondering who had this one before I put it on.
That was me.
It may be a bit of pot, it may have been a bit pot calling kettle there on the head size. Yeah.
Yes. Well, you should have tried this one on. It would have fallen off and been just sitting around your shoulders. Okay, what have I missed since I've been gone? What's the situation here with Jimmy and Rusty?
Now 7-4, as you can see on the top
7-4.
of your screen there. Rusty had a dry break.
I can't quite see past Rusty.
Maybe you won't be able to see it now, but yeah, for those of you who didn't hear, Rusty's up 7-4, dry breaking there. So this is a huge frame for James. If you can get this on Rusty's serve, all of a sudden it's 7-5 on his break. So it's a very important frame.
I'm actually glad he had a go at that.
It's a good opener there.
Yeah, a couple of shots in some of the earlier frames I was watching were very hesitant on some of the shots. It's very unlike Jimmy.
Yeah, and that's I'm not watching, having seen much of the match, but if it was early on, it was, probably playing a guy like Rusty, there are a bit of nerves early on, and you're probably a little bit tentative, and that's normal. But he's probably settled into the match a bit more now. Start to play his natural game a bit. Those of us, in Victoria know James quite well, but the ones that he has made Victorian side multiple times, but has been out of the game for a few years. Came back last year and got back into the Victorian side in quick time, and made a good account of himself again. But a quality player, and just another reason why it's tough to make a state team here.
Incredibly tough.
All right, so James probably would have liked to have followed through a little bit more there.
An extra inch.
But,
haven't we all heard that before?
Yes, we've heard that many times. But that's a whole another conversation, that one. So
I was actually going the half ball routine there.
Yeah.
Hammer.
Truth does hurt sometimes.
Yeah, well, it's, I can't use the word. It's cold.
Yeah.
It's rather warm in here at the moment.
Yeah.
Is this plant on?
I think it might be. Yep. Now.
Yeah, he's making it hard again.
Yeah.
There's the last couple of frames that I was watching earlier on, going game, and that slight little bit of being out of position has made every out that little bit harder and harder and harder after every shot.
Now, whether he can thin nick this in and check the white and just get it back out into the middle table.
Yeah, definitely the shot to
your
play.
only shot. You just hope you don't clip the red on the way through. That's your only danger. Yep, and as I thought,
full
just
ball
hit it
cannon into the red.
Needed to hit the yellow a lot thinner there, but yeah.
Well, anything but full ball, and he would have had a chance of being on the red up towards ball. But
having said that, he can just come off the bottom cushion here and just try and get a snooker back here behind this other yellow. That's probably his only shot here.
Only sensible shot.
Yeah, and even then, the black is dead, and
as long as he doesn't get too much underneath this yellow,
so
and
there is still a lot of chances for Jimmy here. But yeah, he's going to need to play this with good weight, and he's hit a little hard, but hasn't given away two, which is the important thing.
the last thing you want to do is give Rusty two with open space to have free rein on.
So we've got VJ Randall and Peter Butterworth on the table next to this one. We've
just heard it's 5-1 to VJ.
5-1 to VJ, okay. So yeah, we had a look at VJ earlier, and he seemed to be hitting them quite well. Obviously 5-1 up against Butters, nothing much has changed in that regard. Well, that was an interesting shot by Rusty there. Didn't have a lot on, even if he did make that.
Well, he hasn't left a lot.
James might do is he could reverse double this into the right corner. If he's feeling that way, I think he might. That's the right shot.
Yeah,
I think.
Well,
I think you have to keep attacking here. I don't think there's anything to be gained by just.
Well, if you just try and cover the same pocket that the yellow's at, you're going to leave the white underneath to kick the red out anyway.
You're either in or over here.
He's definitely looking at it because he went around the top to see if the other yellow was actually on. If he does make the double. It's actually very hard to see, to judge what he's doing. He's queuing up like he's going to play with a bit of pace every time. Just don't know if he's going to play a touch shot. Well, where's this white going? I think it's kind of a little bit wider than he was first expecting. I think he was wanting to be on the other side of the table.
Well, he's giving himself a chance still. I said it
does cut into the middle.
Well, actually, I'm thinking, does the red go into the corner? It's hard to really tell from this angle, but he is lining up the centre here, so maybe it doesn't go. But as I said, if he does play the centre, all he has to do is get it out and get the white in this middle of the table. He's got plenty of room to land. And he can play the double in the other centre pocket. It's all about control of the white here.
It's just a pace shot. There's no work required. Cannon on the red might help.
And that's couldn't work that much better there. Nice little nudge on the red there to hold. And it's not frozen, so it's just a basic reverse double here.
I'll back him to get this one. He's missed a couple earlier on.
Yeah, you know,
he's played for it.
Quality players would just back themselves to make these 100 times out of 100. But you know, when you're 7-5 down playing one of the best in the country, it's a different story.
Looks pretty good.
So that's a great shot by Jimmy, and as I said, it's a huge frame because now he's breaking at 7-5. Rusty did come up dry on that break, and you know, and full credit to James, he's taken advantage of that.
Yeah, it's one thing I was noticing last night with a lot of the frames that I was trying to tune in and watch, that there were quite a few dry breaks. I don't think anyone's really dialed into the actual sweet spot of breaking yet.
Yeah. And I think we had this conversation last year about the same issue. I remember doing some commentary with Jamie last year in the Victorian singles, which was just after the big guns, and we had played on the same tables. And I mentioned how hard it was to make balls off the break then.
I think Solid was actually mentioning that what he planned on doing was just getting a rack and then just racking them up and breaking and finding his rhythm and sweet spot, because every table does break different, strange as it may seem. It's a decent spread.
And he's potted one of each there, so what do you do here, mate? Which ones would you like?
Well, my first instinct was to go yellows, but the only yellow that's caused a little bit of trouble is the one that's being blocked by the red in the bottom right corner.
Yeah, I think if you take yellows, you probably may want to run this.
You have to play this
yellow down.
Yeah, the one over the centre pocket, off the red.
If you make it, you can even try and take it off the red. It opens up the other yellow.
Yeah, at the same pace, it's in or over.
I think yellows is the right colour.
Oh,
and Jimmy has just tried to tease that in there, but
he knew as soon as he hit that.
The only positive about that is he is on them.
But
it has those two yellows, the two reds, while they might look a little bit awkward below the black there, they do both go in the centre.
Correct.
So that's what Rusty will be looking at. And he's been quite fortunate there.
Yeah.
You know, he could have easily sat on top of the black there and had no shot at all.
It's less than 10 mil away from that black.
And I think that red does pass.
Oh yes, well and truly.
Well, as I said, you're always looking at the.
Oh wow, he's missed that.
We're looking at the monitor here, and the shots do look a little bit trickier than what they actually are on. If you actually look at the table, Chipper actually had a look at the table there, and that red clearly went, even though he didn't execute the shot. But if you look on the screen there, it was a little bit 50-50. But
it's almost unfortunate that the only yellow that's quite gettable is the one that I'd be wanting to play underneath these two reds.
Yeah, so James will obviously be trying to dig into this yellow in the centre here. Try and drag the white down the just tickle it down the rail, and get on this awkward red. No, he hasn't played that well at all. I'm not sure what he was trying to do there.
I wonder. This yellow does actually go off the side rail and underneath these reds. Yeah. Quite possibly pot if you actually give it a little bit, play it with a little bit of conviction. But play to covers obviously the shot.
see again on your monitor, it does not look like any of that's going to happen. But yeah, looking at the actual table, it's a possibility it may not pop, but you may be able to get in front. Yeah, that was a pretty poor shot by Jimmy there.
Yeah, it was very tentative.
Yeah. It's almost like his first two shots, it looked like that he knows he's back in the match now and just started to tighten up a little bit again. And
that's almost a shot of defeat.
I expect Rusty to make this 8-5. Not a lot of problems out there. Jimmy's played 3 poor shots in this frame, and it's made it very easy.
Well, one is just about to slide off her seat in excitement. I think Pete just played a massive shot then.
You didn't get that on film though, so it is a PG broadcast. Well, maybe not so much later on, but yeah. Should be Rusty there, so Rusty will probably just
cut it down. We were just talking about a shot like that.
Bit of left hands, the bottom left here. Just play the red in the mid-certain pocket, and black in the same pocket as well. Just screw back into the side rail, played in the same pocket.
The money shot.
Yeah, almost a gifted frame this one. Yeah, some very loose shots by Jimmy there, and he'll be kicking himself there after he's played 2 good frames to get himself back in it.
He's one bloke that does actually ride pretty hard on himself too.
And we all know with Rusty is is one of the best, if not the best, front runners. So
yes.
when he gets his nose in front, he usually stays there. So, you know, but you know, other players have shown that you put him under the pressure early on, and you can make mistakes. But
there is proof he is human on a few occasions,
like anyone else that holds the cue. So yeah.
Well, he's finally got a few balls in on a break.
All right, so another massive break by Rusty there. So that would be an absolute killer if James has played a couple of good frames to get himself back in it, basically throwing away that frame, and then Rusty makes a quick work of this one. It's a real backbreaker.
James on the back foot from word go in his frame.
Yeah, I think he'd be kicking himself. It should be 7-6, but not to be. Still plenty of pull.
The shot that I can really see taken on here is the red that's on the left side rail. Yeah, he's queuing up for now. The double. There's 3/4 of a pocket under the yellow that Rusty just played.
Yeah, I think he might play this as well, just with a bit of soft screw here, and see if he can get it hard up on the. Well, I would have played it a bit firmer than that.
He's actually, you almost got the same result with a little double kiss.
Well, I left it a bit firmer than that, so you don't leave Rusty the yellow in the centre. But now that he has yellows, has options available, there's basically been nothing to achieve by that red that James just played. Even if anything, it's actually worse.
Yeah.
Okay.
The red that he just put out there, there's 3/4 of a pocket.
Yeah. Just looking at that, it might have been a reason for that. So it may still squeeze through, and if it does.
There was comments before about these tables being particularly generous in the corners. I haven't had a chance to play on them.
No, myself included, but I did play on these last year at Anzac, on the Sunday. But yeah, they are a little bit, particularly the centre pockets. Centre pockets, the jaws do poke out a little bit more. You can probably see even on the, they do look a little bit sharp on the. If you look at the back jaw there, yeah. Just comparing it to the other tables, they do protrude a little bit more, I think.
I think it was maybe 12 months ago was the last time I played on these tables, and I thought that they resembled very much the same cut as the coin-ops, which I quite like. I don't like centre pockets that you can just dribble balls from anywhere in.
That's a good hit by James there, but again he's left him an option,
yellow
left
in the
him
middle.
that yellow on the. So Rusty, if anything, he may be able to, because we know how aggressive he is. Can play that yellow in the corner and see if that. Oh, okay. He may have been thinking 2 or 3 shots ahead there.
I think he was like us, thinking about what he's going to do down this end of the table.
Yeah.
After the first initial 2 yellows.
But I think even on the other tables out the back, I don't think that would have gone in the centre. That was just a poor shot, that one. But
oh, geez, food's
right.
just arrived. I think he has actually cut the red off with his own red. Probably not too bad a shot.
Oh,
jeez.
that is well. As I say, it's very, very unlucky not to make contact with anything. But he did get a little consolation prize at the end there. Has left a slight edge on that yellow now.
Doesn't look like there's much on there, but when you look at the actual table itself, and a little bit of left-hand side might actually cheat that.
Yep. I guarantee you that was not the ball he was trying to move, but yeah, he will certainly take it, given
It's a big bonus.
Unlucky on the others. So that's a good hit by Rusty there. So he's either forced James to play the red that's near the white, or the one over the pocket, and either way, it's probably not a ball. Either ball is probably not one that Jimmy wants to play.
It's neither ball that you'd really be wanting to get out now.
He could play the other ball as well. That's on the. But
the one he's looking at now, I'm not even sure if how much he's got on that.
But there's no, even if you can see that, there's no. I don't think there's really any benefit to be playing it. Yeah. It's just a shot, really. I don't.
It'll get him back to the table, but it's not really benefited too much.
Yeah, but it's just giving Rusty another chance to, possibly have it either dip at the out or just, well. Does that double go? Does that pass the red? I think it might.
I think it does.
Yeah. And if it does go,
I'm wondering if they cut down the rails on.
It's a double this and just
the white's just going to come underneath.
Slightly bump that red nicely.
Slightly
And hasn't he not slightly? He slightly moved it to the other end of the table. Good shot by Rusty. And he just landed well.
I know that you and me right then would have gone between those reds, snook at each other.
You know what I'd be saying after that shot, don't you? Total.
one gets away.
Yeah. As I said, it really kills you when you said you work. We said it a few times. You work your butt off to get back in the match, and you play one loose frame, and all of a sudden, the next one or two get away from you.
That particular frame there, he was on the back foot from word go.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, just off the break was.
That's what I mean. It's on the back of a loose frame. So yeah, how often do you see it happen?
Oh,
yeah,
too often from where I'm sitting. Well,
so what was the? So we just get a Butters and VJ score. What was
5, Butters 3.
So 5-3 down. So it was 5-1, now 5-3. So Butters making a little bit of a comeback here, as we knew he would.
Where's this white?
And well, when it rains, it pours, doesn't it?
Oh.
So yeah. As I said, momentum is an absolute killer in this game. You know, it can work for you and work against you. And so it's just probably that little dead red, but he'll look at doubling that somewhere. You know, the two reds that are just under the yellow on the bottom left-hand corner, he'll obviously pop the red on the right.
Yeah,
just move that.
It won't take much to get that
just
yellow
move
out
that.
of the road.
Move that yellow slightly, and should open everything up. So he'll be looking at it. Take this yellow.
3 words of it.
Sorry, I keep saying yellows. Take the red near the black there. That is also a problem ball if you leave it till the end. Yeah, a little bit of a loose shot there, but you know, still in more than in the driver's seat here.
Yeah, yet again in the box seat.
Was $1.04, probably drifted to $1.12 with that, but you know, still looking good.
But as we all know, one freakish shot can change a frame around.
Yep, and
generally those shots are played by people who don't know what to do.
And it's and at 9-5 down, it's probably going to need to produce something special. You know, whether it be this frame or you know, when Rusty's on the hill. So he's going to need to play exceptional pull from here.
I can actually just see Rusty just having a dip.
Yeah. So as I said, this is almost like a free shot here. So you know, basically, you know.
Well, the dead yellow down in fork there.
And he got a little bit of a kick off the rail there, but
it's straightened up nicely for him.
Pace dropped it nice. Yeah. I think Jimmy would like to have the last 15 minutes of this match back. That's for sure.
Has it come too far?
You know, he's landed nicely again and again.
We would have been calling total.
You know what I'd be saying? And a few expletives to go after it. Yeah, nice shot.
Yeah,
so this will be a 10-5 and on the hill.
Yeah, all the way.
Yeah. And that's why Rusty's one of the favourites to win this tournament or any tournament that he's in, because as I said, he's you know, he will give you chances, but as I said, if you don't take them, you generally don't get a second one. So,
well, there's only a handful of people that you could actually say that are consistent enough to, when their chips are down, they will actually take every chance and do everything they can to win from it.
So obviously running the show up in snooker world now is Rust. I actually have been up there a couple of years ago. Obviously different management at the time, but you know, quite a nice little venue there.
It's got the advertising on the shirt.
About 20 odd tables in there, so it's you know, it's not too bad. giving his venue, his business a plug every time. So every time he turns around. So yeah, no, that's good to see. It's not bad, as I said, not a bad venue, and hopefully I can score a couple of drink cards for the plug next time I'm up there, mate.
Oh, just a free ticket from here up there would be good.
Yeah, true that. Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah, you can have your $10 worth of drink cards. I'll just take the plane flight.
All right, so when you're on the hill, this is exactly what you want when you when you break. So you want a nice
sort of spread that
yeah.
It's the sort of spread that you really want to
Don't
have.
say much about that, but as I said, this is the spread you want.
Just going to force him to take
nice
the
easy
hard ball now.
nice easy balls on the table, but has made it a little bit tricky. But one good shot and you're back in it. But
Well,
yeah, he has given him a chance.
this is the chance that we were just talking about a frame and a half ago.
10 seconds ago, it was looking like they were going to be shaking hands. So, but
One dodgy yellow.
Now is Jimmy able to screw back into this yellow now?
Yeah.
Take this. No, he's not going to. He's not looking at it. He may look at a double on that. Yeah. Okay, so he might take the double here. There's plenty of room inside that red. I think this is probably the only option for him now.
If he's planning on going game, yeah.
Yeah, well, I think he has to. There's no safeties on the table here, so yeah.
It's the pocket that you want clear too.
It's basically a double or nothing here, so you must do it. And just a little high on the double there, so. Yep. And again, it's one chance that was given and not taken, so it's wouldn't expect another one to be handed out here.
Well, if you do expect, I think you'll be disappointed.
I'm sure he was hoping to land on the other red there, but just clipped the yellow on the way through, but still should be okay.
Just so casual, bit of bottom right.
Bottom left, do you think?
No, on that last one.
Yeah.
This one here could be with anything.
And just
Too far.
trying to get out of position here, but let's roll this in for an 11-5 win and on to the next round.
Yeah.
Well done, Rusty. Well played, James, but yeah, chances squandered. I feel your pain. Okay, so we're just going to just go offline for a sec, and we're starting up a new stream very shortly. Follow Facebook, guys, for the link. Right. See you soon.